Hey, cunts, don't forget to click the subscribe button. There's intergalactic truth, intercontinental truth, local truth, and then our truth. Okay, our truth is significantly different than, for the same reason that we don't put the secret sauce that you get in the gigs online. 95% of all my material. Is your brother? Oh, you're already here. So are you the more responsible one?
Yes, Mr.
You would have fooled me. I mean, that's hard to believe. But our truth, and so that's why we don't put that on there. Right now, they're selling the PDF of my book for $29.95. Our lawyers are chasing some people down. $29.95. They're selling the PDF of my book, and which costs. There's no cost in the PDF, right? It costs a penny or so. We're in the hunt for the new year. We decided to shut down the people that have been using my materials illegally, because if I focused on that, then I wouldn't be doing what I want to do, which is this, and making sure you guys get across the goal line. But one of the goals early in the year was, in 2020, we're going to hit the ground running with lawsuits and scorch the earth. So we're going to hit the ground. And when I mean scorch the earth, you sue everybody from the goldfish in the family to the grandmother. And hopefully we can take some houses away or some shit. And hopefully, when they get sued, and I hope you're watching, when they get sued, they don't show up to court and you get a judgment.
Default judgment.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a default judgment. Why would they think that because I took them to court and they didn't show up, I was going to stop there? Because they're fucking stupid, that's why. And they don't want to pay for a lawyer, etc. And anyway, any questions on any of the materials? We're going to have a couple of presentations this morning. I don't know if we're ready for the bottle yet, the water. We're not, How many pages do you have?
It's too early in the morning.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's a little too early. Maybe you could give it during lunchtime when everybody's eating, and you could be. How long is it going to take you for the bottle?
6 slides.
6 slides? Does that mean 6 minutes or 60 minutes?
15 minutes.
15. Somebody, when he gets up here, please watch your clock or whatever. Okay. Other than Mr. Bottled Water, who's next? Jessica, do you have somebody from your team?
Right. Well,
are you up again?
Team right now, if you don't
No,
mind.
I'm.
He hasn't presented.
Huh?
He hasn't presented.
Okay. Well, let's go. It's showtime. Let's rock and roll.
No more foreplay.
I always like when a woman says that. No more foreplay. You came to the right place, sweetheart. You can't. I mean, how did you know? How did you know? Do I just look that way or what? I think that I had a girlfriend when I was a kid. She says, "I think you invented slam bam, thank you, ma'am."
Foreplay is over. It's time to fuck.
Yeah. Are you getting ready? You're preparing? You're praying or something?
No.
Last night when he was telling me at dinner how he used to get beat in school, he used to get beat, but brought music to my ears. I mean, and if he's this fucked up and he got beat, just imagine, and before you start, just imagine if there was no discipline in his life early. What'd he be like? Because he's obviously not hitting the ground with both feet at the same time. He's not operating on 12 cylinders. And it's not this, it's this. Okay, you putting it, what are you doing? How'd you get here so close?
You moved me. Mutual.
Well, no, I know I moved you, but those 3 or 4 of you, I said, keep them in the back. Keep them in the goddamn back.
It's that radiant sunshine.
Yeah. You can just see personality from ear to ear. I mean.
Yep. Charming.
How I do my deals.
Yeah, yeah. Now, we have a Dan Locke wannabe with no socks. So, I mean, this is one of your followers. Big fucking ticket hitter. Big hitter. Big. Arigato.
Got that on video?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
You're gonna have to put that in. You're just gonna have to slip that in.
I love it. And then namaste.
Yeah, namaste. Yeah.
In order to be a high ticket closer, and then you see Dan going, big ticket closer.
Now, when I did his deal, when I had the privilege of doing his deal in September, and I did that, the audience went fucking bug fuck. I mean, they all started jumping up and down. Are we going to read it? What are we doing here? I can't read that. I'm a speed reader, but I can't read that fast.
Okay, so before, this is the case from Air Canada, and there's an airline case, and they went into bankruptcy in the year 2001 to 2002, and so before we go into financials, we'll just look at the background of what happened to the company, because it was in profit. And so in 1992, this guy, Hamilton, he came to Air Canada as a COO, and he believed that if the divisions of Air Canada were separated, there's more value locked up in those divisions and it can be extracted. So, but he wasn't in the position of power to do that. And in 1999, he was promoted to a CEO. And at that time, he was full on set out with his team to divide the different divisions of Canada and Air Canada and extract value from it. So
that's what they should do to Canada, period. Divide it up and extract value. I mean, he was on the right road. He just should have started with a country, not with a goddamn airline.
So, but immediately as he became the CEO, within 3 weeks, Air Canada merged with Canadian Airlines, which is much bigger airline than Air Canada, and suddenly he found himself to be a CEO of a much larger organization. And there were labor inefficiencies, and because of that, the company started to go a little bit in losses. But he said the future looks bright, and everything is going to be, the profits are going to go up. Immediately after he said that, not literally after he said that, but immediately after that, 9/11 happened, and .com crash happened in 2000, and the sales went down. Nobody was traveling, and there was no one who was traveling, and there were many times the airplane was going completely empty. And then the SARS virus, SARC virus hit, and then further the travel went down. And if that wasn't enough, America invaded Iraq and the oil prices rose. So the cost also increased. So suddenly
Iraq invaded Kuwait first. I mean, let's get this fucking straight, okay? It's not that we're warmongers, yeah, American, but we didn't just out of the blue decide to invade Iraq. Iraq invaded Kuwait first. I personally know because 60% of my net worth evaporated in 24 hours. So I know that day well. Go ahead.
So suddenly after these 4 events back to back in 2-3 years span, the company went into a death spiral. And now this guy, his dream was always to run a airline company, and he started to doubt himself. And so he, along with his team, they declared bankruptcy first thing, and he, along his team, set out on the mission to separate different divisions of Canada and really extract the value. So they emerged out of bankruptcy with one holding company and 10 subsidiaries, and they wanted to work on these individual subsidiaries separately, and whatever was not valuable out of these subsidiaries, they would carve out, sell it off, and whatever was profitable, they were going to keep it. On top of that, he also believed that if the company was to be financed, there's still more value to be unlocked if we get financing. So they asked the US government. The US government gave them, they asked for, I think, 5 or 6 billion, and they gave them 100 million or something. So they approached.
Gave them or loaned them?
Loaned them. Sorry. So they approached a few private equity firms and some other schemes, and they got a few $1 billion. Right? The exact numbers are here. And so they got into a debt, and then the company started to recover from the debt spiral and started to profit. So this is 2000. Most of the data is from 2005. This is a chart that shows how they are recovering from the debt. After this, we look at the income statement, which is from the year 2005. So the company is beginning to kind of take off and recover from debt.
Take off. Get the metaphor? They lost it. You got to explain to them the examples, or they won't get it.
The company started to go into profit and pay off their debts and started to recover. So 2005 is the year when it started to go up, and today the company is worth, I think, $18 billion or something. So they recovered, and it was very, very difficult. So it's inspiring at the same time. It's scary that you think the future is bright, and suddenly these unexpected events happen back to back, and all depends on capability, how you pull it out. So
Let me interject a teaching point, which is pretty obvious, but I'm going to make it even more obvious for when the shit hits the fan. But the other reason that they hoard cash is so when the shit hits the fan and their competitors, they can buy them, because they don't have to go to a bank, a loan committee, and all the bullshit, even though they can get it done a lot quicker than the normal or average person. But I mean, life happens. And so the contingencies, you can't plan for all the contingencies. And my experience has been the safest plan for all contingencies is to have cash. Go ahead.
So this is the debt repayment record. So in 2015, this is in millions. Can you see the numbers?
2015, was it?
I'm sorry, 2005, 2006, 7, 8, 9.
At that rich boarding school, they taught you how to read?
No way.
Okay. Where's your glasses? You trying to look handsome or something? I mean, but you...
This is the equity that they had to give out to people for money.
It's a lot of different kinds. Common shares, convertible shares, senior notes, income trust units. I mean, we're not, at least at this stage, we're not going to be doing any of those things.
It's very complex. Some of the divisions they went public with, some of the things they got the money in by giving out equity. So they did different kinds of things to bring in capital.
Whereas when his brother did it, he read all this. And so he's going to the other end of the continuum. He's just flashing through it. So nobody can read it.
So this is the income statement of the holding company. So these are the different divisions. So it's the whole revenue, income, everything is separate for the divisions, and this is the total amount on the right side of the holding company.
Since this reorganization, have they taken? Does the company still look like this? What have they sold off? 'Cause that's 15 years ago, 14 years ago.
No, it's worth 16 billion now, and it's.
You mean with these same divisions?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I don't know what happened to the divisions.
Okay.
This is an older study, so this is the.
No, I understand that. The point is that, remember I said yesterday and the day before, when you look back to see how the restructuring worked, did it work?
It worked.
It worked. Okay. Do we know who were the advisors? Do you remember the investment bank that did this?
The bank who gave the funding?
No, who advised them? Who were the advisors?
There was this guy, Robert Hamilton. He was the CEO. He did all of this. It was his idea to divide.
But all these guys have advisors. They're going to have a Goldman Sachs, a JP Morgan, a Bank of America, a Royal Bank of Canada in this particular case. And if I remember correctly, because I have some vague recollection of this reorg, that the government was involved in the reorg, because I think they were a shareholder in either Air Canada which is often the case. Okay, so what have you learned from this case? Other than a lot of bad shit can happen, okay, that you can't plan for. None of the things that you mentioned that happened to this company could have been reasonably planned for. And when you go out and do your first acquisition and you have 40% of your revenue coming from one customer, which we tell you not to, and that one customer pulls the contract, that's your tsunami. And Walmart, Sears and Roebuck, and a few other big retailers, their model was to get into your knickers, be a 10% customer, and then a 50% customer, then a 70% customer, then pull the plug. And then, they essentially own you.
They came up with various schemes. The miles, you can buy miles. So they came up with the idea of introducing miles, and 40% of the revenues came from that scheme.
Selling miles. I just recently found out you can buy miles. I didn't know that. Even though we have 6 or 7 million miles. So I said, well, why can't we sell them then? I don't think we're ever going to use 6 or 7 million. Okay, what else? Is this any more information?
No, that's it.
I'm looking forward now to those that 4-hour presentation on bottled water now. I wasn't before, but okay, very good. Okay, you can take your shit now and you sit down and